Welcome to MKUSUAL Live. We're doing last meals, baby. What?
The Last Supper.
The Last Supper edition. Famous last meals, our last meals. Why are we on death row?
Yep.
It doesn't have to be death row. We could be valiant soldiers of a revolution.
Still brought to, the gallows.
I want to look up some famous and last meals, some famous and weird ones to start this off before we get into ours.
Well, can I start us off with some lighthearted ones?
Yes.
Gordon Ramsay, beef Wellington. Everyone knows that.
When was he executed?
This has been I actually never really considered death row meals until I was in culinary school, and all the chefs would ask. The chefs would ask us, or we'd ask chef what their death row meal was, and then I saw an article in Bon Appetit, and it was all these famous chefs, and they're like,
Ooh, okay, yeah, throw some out there.
I can't remember the guy's name, but he's French, and his last meal would be a baguette, some butter, and a glass of Bordeaux wine.
Sounds all right. Bread and wine.
The most French.
Simple.
Yeah. Anthony Bourdain, he said, would be roasted bone marrow with a parsley salad, crusty bread, and sea salt.
I like that these chefs all want simple things.
Right. They want the bone marrow. I actually really respect. The beef Wellington is very Gordon Ramsay. It's very over the top and all these elaborate steps you have to take, but that's him. Anthony Bourdain is a cook's cook, and roasted bone marrow is a dish that's popular now, but it's also a consequence of having to roast the bones to make stock, to make soup, to make sauce. It's at a certain point you cut the bones up, and it's I don't know. It's while you were doing that, you would get to a point, and that would be your little snack.
Yeah.
You would get a little bit of the marrow that didn't get fully roasted out of the bone. It's so rich and fatty and savory. It's so good.
You want to know what Anthony Bourdain's actual last meal was?
No.
A huge cut of pork on a mound of sauerkraut, bratwurst, and potatoes.
Wow.
What are some other famous chefs?
Well, I was asking for some help here, and it gave me a hypothetical. How do the
Well, I go through some historical ones here.
yeah.
All right. Victor Fager, 1963, convicted murderer, asked for a single olive with the pit still in it. He reportedly saved the pit, possibly as a symbol of hope or rebirth.
Wow.
I think he thought he was going to become a tree or something. Gary Gilmore, 1977, infamous killer. First person executed in the U.S. after we reinstated the death penalty. He had a relatively simple a meal of hamburgers, eggs, potatoes, and coffee. He said, I don't want any of this last meal bullshit. Just get me some alcohol. But he was denied alcohol. They should let everyone have a glass of wine.
Yeah.
John Wayne Gacy, 94, the killer clown, requested a 12-piece bucket of KFC, a pound of shrimp, french fries, and a bucket of strawberries. Honestly, that's a pretty... Timothy McVeigh, 2001, the Oklahoma City bomber, declined a formal last meal, but accepted 2 pints of his favorite ice cream, mint chocolate chip. Good choice. Ronnie Lee Gardner, 2010. Lobster tail, steak, apple pie, vanilla ice cream, and a 7-Up. He also requested to watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy, but only got to see part of the first film before his execution.
He was grasping for all the time he could get.
I know. Oh, God. James Edward Smith, 1990. Smith, a convicted murderer, requested a clump of dirt from the prison yard, claiming it had life energy. The request was denied, and he settled for yogurt.
I want to hear that negotiation.
Alan Lee Davis, 1999. Lobster, fried potatoes, and root beer, known for a brutal triple murder, had a massive last meal: a lobster tail, fried potatoes, fried shrimp, garlic bread, and a root beer. His execution was notably botched with excessive bleeding. Dude, if I was going to go for like the lobster route, I would want like 6 lobster tails. It's just not, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Why not? Just go out big, dude. Yeah, Alan Lee Davis. He messed up. A lot of people here at, hey, Eileen Warnos,
Oh, I know this one.
infamous female serial killer, refused last meal, accepted a single cup of black coffee. Angel Diaz, 2006, no meal. Diaz suffered a botched execution, declined the last meal, saying the state is killing an innocent man. Maybe so. It did come out this week that this might be part of a bigger episode someday, but apparently AI has proven that fingerprint evidence is probably wrong.
They're not unique.
They're not as unique as we thought. And like one of your fingers might look like another person's, like your pointer finger might look like another person's ring finger and so forth.
Interesting. It's kind of like the car key phenomenon where 1 in 10,000 opens the same car that you have.
I don't know if they had their car unlocked, but I left the casino one time like a decade ago and got in a completely other person's Buick.
Yeah. Now you have 2 Buicks in the garage.
I mean, the thought did cross my mind. Like, if I was ever to do something crazy, this would be a good excuse to joyride around a little bit and be like, whoa, wait a minute. Okay, King Louis the 16th had a multi-course lavish meal before his execution by guillotine. Saddam Hussein, this one cracked me up, declined the last meal but was offered a hamburger.
It seems
like rubbing his nose.
Okay. Socrates, a cup of hemlock. This is not. What the fuck? Like,
That's dark.
Technically. This one was interesting. Lawrence Russell Brewer, white supremacist from Texas. 2 chicken fried steaks with gravy and onions, triple bacon cheeseburger, cheese omelet with beef, tomato, onion, jalapeno, fried okra, pound of barbecue, half a loaf of white bread, peanut butter fudge, pint of ice cream, 3 root beers. He didn't eat any of it.
Oh.
Texas ended last meal requests after this.
What was his name?
Lawrence Russell Brewer.
This is Ricky Ray Rector, 92. After a brain injury left him mentally impaired, he famously set aside his pecan pie, telling guards, I'll save it for later.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Thomas J. Grasso.
Ted Bundy declined a special meal. A lot of people declined the meal.
I mean, it's probably not. Some people. I mean, would you be hungry if you're gonna die in like an hour?
Right.
I think I'd want something to settle my stomach, though. It's probably why a lot of people do bread and like.
Marie Antoinette, a single cup of hot chocolate and a hard roll before taken to the guillotine.
Hot chocolate.
Adolf Hitler, spaghetti with
spaghetti.
a light sauce. Yes.
Yes.
Possibly mashed potatoes and broth.
Ooh, interesting.
Just before departing for Argentina.
Thomas J. Grasso had his last words were regarding his last meal. He said, I didn't get my SpaghettiOs. I got spaghetti. I want the press to know this.
This is kind of crazy that some of these like are recorded. Julius Caesar, unknown specifically, but according to records, he was headed to the Senate and may have skipped breakfast. Abraham Lincoln was mock turtle soup, roast Virginia fowl with chestnut stuffing, baked yams, and cauliflower with cheese sauce.
Damn, dude.
He had almond cake for dessert. This was the White House meal before going to Ford's Theater. That makes sense that it would be recorded.
I had to look up famous last words of death row inmates. George Apple, executed by electric chair, 1928. His last words were, "Well, gentlemen, you're about to see a baked apple." Johnny Garrett, lethal injection, 92, Texas. "I'd like to thank my family for loving me and taking care of me, and the rest of the world can kiss my ass." George Harris, lethal injection, 2000, Missouri. Last words, "Somebody needs to kill my trial attorney." James French. How's this for a headline for tomorrow's paper? French fries. Robert Charles Connor, lethal injection in Arizona, 2007, said, "Go Raiders." Now that's a Raiders fan.
That dude.
Jimmy Glass, electric chair, Louisiana, 1987. "I'd rather be fishing." He's a simple man. Vincent Gutierrez, lethal injection in Texas, 2007. He said, "My brother, where's my stunt devil when you need one?" Well, well, well.
A lot of gallows humor. Like a lot of, they took an opportunity to get a bid in.
This guy, Jeffrey David Matthews, I think the governor's phone is broke. He hasn't called yet. Well, so James Lewis Jackson, 2007, Texas, "Warden, murder me. I'm ready to roll. Time to get this party started." Robert Charles Towery, "I love my family. Potato, potato, potato."
Seems like they might have started early
What?
before he got his whole quota. Potato, potato.
George Engel, 1887, "Hooray for Anarchy." Eileen Warnos, this one cracks me up. "I'd just like to say I'm sailing with the Rock, and I'll be back like Independence Day with Jesus, June 6th, like the movie Big Mothership. I'll be back." Well, all right, so let's talk our last meals here before we run out of time.
You want to go first?
Yep. I have trash taste. I'm going all restaurants. First of all, I'm in prison.
What did you do this time?
I'm in prison because
Have you ever been arrested?
I've been arrested. Yeah. I'm in federal death row because the DeWalt Corporation, I don't know what, some big BlackRock, they put in they lasered an advertisement on the moon, so you can't enjoy the moon anymore. I found that to be a crime against the human spirit. So I'm going big. I'm going big style. I ain't doing no cutesy stuff here. My last words are, remember the moon. I'm going my favorite pizza place. We'll go a small pizza shop pizza, Kansas City favorite. Extra sauce, pepperoni, black olive. Let's put pineapple on half of it. Let's do a big ass salad from that place with the pink stuff. Let's do livers and gizzards. Go Chicken Go. Heavy on the livers.
Another institution.
I'm going with lots of that Go sauce. I'm going 2 tacos and like 2 nachos from Taco Villa. I'm going. Oh, you know that sparkling Welch's grape juice shit?
Yep.
I'm going that, and maybe like some orange juice. After all that's done, I'm trying to think of a dessert. I'm going creme brulee.
Okay.
And I'll do some black coffee with that creme brulee, and then you can fry me, baby. Long live the moon.
Viva la moon. What would you choose? You would choose the chair?
Oh,
If
no.
you get to choose? Okay.
God, no. I don't understand. We were talking about this earlier. I don't understand why the chair is considered humane. You're just setting a person on fire from the inside. Just shoot me.
Yeah.
Just shoot me, bro. I don't want anything involving my neck or head. I don't want
Okay.
my head chopped off. I don't want a hanging. That's always way more brutal than they make it out to be. I'm going just shoot me, just fatten me up, have a firing squad, take me out.
Idaho.
What's that? How would you go?
Idaho and South Carolina recently brought back the firing squad.
Okay, so if I commit my crimes, I guess I'll do it in South Carolina.
Yep.
Spend some time on the beach before I get caught.
Okay, well, I'll start with my meal, I guess. Me first. Fried chicken, mashed potatoes,
Oh,
a lot of butter, not margarine, butter,
yes.
corn or green beans.
Exclusive.
Yeah.
Okay.
If green beans are in season, green beans. If not, corn. Slice of peach pie a la mode.
Ooh.
I'll probably take a coffee. Coffee would sound good with the pie. Coke, Mexican bottle of Mexican Coke.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's Sunday at Grandma's. Nostalgia, 100%. Comfort.
Bring back all those memories. How you getting? Is that the whole meal?
That's it.
That's a great meal, dude. Fried chicken, mashed potatoes.
Got to be a fresh garden vegetable. My grandma grew green beans, so she always had really good green beans. And there was always a sweet corn, a guy who grew sweet corn in my hometown, so she would like buy a bunch of that and freeze it, and we always had sweet corn.
Can I ask you something real fast?
Yeah.
This is a great Grover Cleveland Redding, 1921. Last words. I have something to say, but not at this time. Okay. How much of your last meal decision do you think would be influenced by just what you're feeling that day? Because I say this like platonically, like this is shit I could eat all the time, but like, what if that day, like you're sitting there, you know, this is it, man. You're going out, you're going to the beyond.
Honestly, it could be like some Doritos and Reese's and a Pepsi, you know.
Would it depend on how you like? Would you be like, dude, I know I wanted grandma's chicken, but like,
Did I get-
right now? I really want some tikka masala.
Did I have breakfast that day? How hungry? You know, like.
I would assume for like the week leading up, it'd be like your birthday week.
Yeah.
You'd be really careful about like what you're. Oh man, would you start a book?
I'd probably like. I mean, do they get commissary on death row? Like, can I like? Because you can get like candy bars and shit. You can get like.
Oh, you'd be trying to spend all that money.
Right.
Wh-
I'd be writing letters to all my groupies like the month leading up.
Would you?
My cult of followers would supply me with ramen and honey buns.
What new endeavors, like if you had all your appeals are up, you got 3 months. Would there be anything you'd want to do, like watch a series of movies?
I'd watch Shawshank Redemption.
Okay. Would you like? Because to me, I'd be like, there'd be certain things I wouldn't want to go out without knowing. I guess I'd probably be reading the Bible a lot.
Yeah.
But like, other than that, like, is there anything like you're like, I really always wanted to finish like Moby Dick or something like that, you know?
I've been defeated over and over by War and Peace. I might try to finish War and Peace.
But would your mind frame change because you don't know when to talk about it after you die?
I don't know.
You just do it for you.
There's no like the internet has ruined like the mystery of books because I can just like Google the summary and you know.
Yeah.
There used to be like and then everything else is like a discovery. It's like truly something that I just flip open a book in a bookstore or
Yes.
somewhere and then like, oh, well, I've never. So.
Let me ask you this. So you didn't, before we finish up, you didn't say why you're in prison,
Oh, yeah.
and you got to give your last words.
I would probably help you blow up the moon, but as a passion project, I would probably start a workers' revolution.
Okay.
I would I would unionize the service industry, and it's one thing if you're a giant corporation and you're not paying your employees enough. Say you have like a huge margin and there's always profit. A restaurant, if they're doing well, is like 15%. That's like a really good, successful restaurant. So like they're struggling too, and yet require cheap labor to they're on the same level as their employees
Right.
for the most part.
Now, how do you end up in death row, though?
Oh, I kill all the small business owners that steal money from their employees.
My dad, he's probably going to watch it. He told me once that a good way to go out would be to just start taking out people who run payday loans. Like you stock like 10 of them, and then you start sniping them like you go on a crime spree. And make people scared to run payday loans.
Yeah, anyone who's like
like the most exploitative people. Well, what would your final words be? You get caught. You try to read War and Peace. You give up. You have your peach pie. Final words.
My final words would be, it's 5.5 inches, and you can take that to the bank.
We love you.
We love you.
Bye.